Welcome back to the I Beg to Differ podcast. My name is Candace, and today I have my sister Monica with me, and we will be discussing Survival of the Thickest, season one, episodes three and four. So we left off on episode two. Where did we leave off? Was that after the funeral, I guess?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
after the funeral.
So Mavis
Yeah.
finally kind of got her first break as a lead stylist, working with Natasha, who's Garcelle's character. So then we see Marley, Mavis, and Khalil. They meet up for a jog and weed session, basically. And I didn't realize that Marley and Khalil, they're really not like friends like that. I guess they're
Yeah,
both
me
just
either. I didn't
Mavis's
realize
friends.
that until this episode.
Yeah, because Marley's like, why do you
Yeah.
invite him to our little jog session? Like, I don't really fool with him like that. So that threw me off. But then
Yeah.
Mavis said she got two more clients after the funeral with Natasha. So that was good for her. So
Yeah.
then we see the bodega guy. He's flirting
Yes.
with Mavis
Yes.
again. So what did you think
Again.
about this scene? Or do you want to kind of go into this scene a little bit?
I was cracking up. I was like, oh my gosh. It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I think the funniest part was when the mama came out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. So it was like she was trying to get these Pop Tarts off the top shelf. And then his mama, I guess she owns the bodega. And she like, why you push it up on my son and stuff? She's like, your son is a grown man. He's what, 28, 29. And the mom was like, no, he's 21. And Mavis was like, oh, hold up now.
Yep.
Mavis said, I'm good on this.
Uh-uh.
So then we find out that these new styling jobs that Mavis got is styling some of the drag queens at CC Blooms. Is that I think that's the name
Yeah.
of the
I
yeah.
think that's the name of it.
And so she styled another drag queen and she ended up having a wardrobe malfunction on stage. So Mavis she goes and she just rips this tie off this man and uses his tie to fix the drag queen's outfit, like her little top that
Yeah.
came off. So then Mavis is just assuming this man is gay, but this is our first introduction to Luca. So then Luca comes backstage
Yeah.
for his tie, and she just assumes he's gay because he was sitting with another man. He's at a drag like bar lounge thing. He's like, no, that's just my childhood friend. He's like, I'm definitely not gay. And I just came back here to see if you want to go to dinner because I have to leave town tomorrow. So, what did you think just like initially about Luca, Mavis? Like, what were you thinking about that?
Yeah, so I was just thinking like, oh wow, like he nice looking to
Mm-hmm.
me.
Yeah, he is.
So I was like, wow. But I think at that point I was kind of like her, like, is he gay, you know? Because he was
Yeah.
at the gay bar. So I didn't know if he was gonna be interested in her or somebody else that was
Right.
backstage. But then when he was interested in her, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking too, because I assumed he was gay too. But then I kind of had a feeling the way he was looking when she took the tie that okay, maybe they setting this up for like another love interest or whatever. And so then
Yeah.
Luca want like you said, Luca wanted to take her out and stuff, and so Mavis is like, we'll go outside and talk. So then Khalil and Marley, now they get a chance to bond because Mavis is gone. And Marley's like, well, you not as annoyed as I thought you were. She's like, now that Mavis single, we probably gonna be seeing more of each other anyway. So she wants to like vent to Khalil or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then Khalil's like, we're gonna get out of here. Marley thinks that she's like that he's being like trying to sleep with her. And he's like, no, we finna just go paint or whatever. And she's like, I'd rather just have sex.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then we get the scene where now Luca and Mavis are sitting down to have dinner. And so she said that she needs to know if they splitting checks before she decides what she's gonna order off the menu.
Yeah,
What did you
yeah,
think about that with
that was
Mavis?
hilarious.
I,
But I feel like, that's typical, like when you kind of first meet somebody, like especially at like a club or
mm-hmm.
something, like you don't really know them like that. Like
Right.
they may have asked you to go out to eat, but they may not be expecting to pay.
Exactly. And so she was just like, I feel her on that, especially since she living in New York. She just moved out on her
Yes,
own. She like, look, everything on the menu is not in my price range, so I need to know if I'm
exactly.
paying for this or you paying for this. But I felt like he seemed really like sweet in this interaction. He seemed actually interested in her work. Like he was asking about her work and her job, and I felt like he really got her sense of humor too. Or what do you think?
Yeah,
Like I feel like they had a lot of
yeah,
chemistry.
yeah. I feel like they have a lot of chemistry, which is kind of like, even with like some of the later scenes, like you'll see more of the chemistry like
Hmm.
develop. And I think it kind of probably was like unexpected for her they would have so much chemistry.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, especially since it's a cultural difference too, not just,
yeah,
Um so then we see that she buys him dessert, but it's really just a bunch of like American like candies. And one of those
yeah,
candies is Big League, the big chew gum or whatever. So then
yeah.
they start making out in the back of the cab and stuff. And so then she decides to give him fellatio in the cab.
Yeah.
But she forgot to take the gum out her mouth. So
Yes.
now the gum done got stuck down there.
Yep.
And so what were you thinking like this
I was
scene?
like, oh my gosh. At first, I was like, hold up, because I saw like the gum. I was like, I think this gum, but I wasn't
Yeah.
100% sure. And then when I realized, I was like, oh my
It
gosh.
was just bad. So they get into her
Yes.
apartment, and so Jade is like, "Oh, that's easy. You just use some peanut butter and ice," which I never heard of that.
I've never heard of
But
that.
they was like, "Well, do you have something?" She's like, "No, cocaine. The little cat is allergic to both." I'm like, "The cat allergic to ice?" But okay. Oh, so then Mavis has to go downstairs to get this peanut butter and this ice, and she got to encounter the bodega lady again, and she's still accusing her of trying to sleep with her son and stuff. And so
Yep.
then they are able to get the gum out and stuff. And so then he's still interested in her. I don't know, Mavis be pulling because she be doing some weird stuff, but these men still be wanting her
Yep.
regardless. Like, so she
Yep.
doing something right. And so then they end up sleeping
Exactly.
together or whatever. So what do you think about like how he handled this? Like, were you expecting him to like still want to be with her and stuff or
So yeah, I mean, I kind of was like, I felt like you could kind of pick up his vibe, like kind of in the beginning that he might have been kind of laid back,
mm-hmm.
not like a jerk. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I mean, I wasn't shocked that he still wanted to interact. I think too, like the whole Mavis in New York thing, it kind of make me think about when I went to New York in April, and like the guys up there, they do like it seemed like plus size women, so
Mm.
I'm like, dang, maybe's got it going on in New York. Maybe I need to go back, you know. So I think that's a whole New York thing,
Yeah, yeah, because it just I don't know. I think I figured obviously they need another love interest for her, and I like
Yeah,
their chemistry much better than the
me
Cam guy,
too.
like even better than her ex
Yeah,
boyfriend or whatever. But they open up to each other about their prior relationships. She tells basically kind of just overview about Jock, like we were together this many years, we lived together this many years, and then we broke
yeah,
up because I walked in on him cheating. Then he said he was with his ex for 10 years and they were married for 8 years. So he's a divorcee. So, like, you at least know he not scared of commitment. And that's what
exactly.
I think Mavis needs is somebody that's not afraid of commitment. So
Afraid of
then he
commitment for sure.
has to leave the next morning and he's basically saying, I'm gonna miss you. Is that weird for me to say? Because it's only been one night. She's like, no, or whatever. So they're all good. Um, and then Mavis just meets up with her friends for their little jog session, and she just kind of talking to them about Luca a little bit, but you can tell she one of the ones that like she fall head over heels fast because she like I'm
Quick,
gonna marry
yeah,
him.
yeah, yeah. She do. She fall fast.
Yeah. And then so then we have Jade asking Mavis to drop off the rent checks. And come to find out, the landlord is the bodega man's mom. So she got to drop off the checks with this lady.
Yes, it was hilarious.
I was just
Oh
like,
gosh.
Mavis, girl. So that's how we end episode 3. So then we get into episode 4, and so now Natasha says that she needs Mavis to dress her for a wedding, and she's like, "This is gonna be the
Yeah.
biggest wedding of the year, bigger than Meghan Markle's wedding." And kind of find out it's the wedding for her dog, and
Yes. I
Mavis
was
is
like,
like, "Huh?"
what? Yeah. I was like, what in the world? I kind of picked up on it when I saw the dog in the background. I was like, is she gonna
Mhm.
say this a wedding for this dog? I was like, what?
But at least the wedding is being covered by People Magazine, so it's a chance for Mavis to have some of her like styling in a magazine at least.
Exactly.
So it's with some other like, I guess another supermodel or something that Natasha apparently has beef. She got beef with everybody, but she apparently
She
got
sure
beef with this
do.
supermodel too. So, so but it's her dog that, I guess, what's the dog name? Kristen is marrying Kristen and Tootie, I think.
Yeah.
So then the three friends, they meet up for dinner. Khalil is still hooking up with India, but he's talking about she don't want to do that thing where you put your arm around the other person. And so there's like, wait, cuddle? So like it feel like India is giving him a taste of his own medicine. What do you think?
Medicine. Yup. A taste of his own medicine for sure.
Cause it, cause it's like you said last time, I was like, she like, I'm gonna pull a you on you, basically.
Yup.
And so in this conversation though, as he's talking to his girlfriends, he's realizing like, oh, I actually do like India, and they're basically telling like you need to communicate that to her that you want more than what
Yes.
it is.
Then
And
what
then
it
also in
is.
this conversation, we find out that Marley is effing her trainer, which was like,
Yes. That's what I was like, because we saw the scene like where she was having sex with somebody. I just didn't think it was the
yeah, the
trainer.
beginning. Right. I didn't
Yeah.
know who it was. I was like, dang. I thought it was Khalil for a second. I was like,
Yep.
this took a turn.
Yep. Me
But yeah,
too.
we just saw some guy, and then it had us thinking that Mavis was too, but she was just trying to unclog the toilet.
Yes.
So then Mavis is gets to the venue to start getting Natasha and Avery ready for the wedding. And then that's when she finds out that Jock is the photographer for the wedding. Like this man just will not go away at this point. And I feel like
No,
it's
he
kind
will
of like
not.
what you were saying last time, how you were kind of like, oh, if a man like really wants you back, like he just gonna keep calling stuff. And I guess he just decided he forget the call and I'm just gonna pop up.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel like that. And then did you realize how she said, I didn't remember from one and two that they had been together for 10 years. I don't remember hearing that in one and two. I was like, oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah, I didn't realize that either.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
that that was a
in
long time.
episode four, I think, or no, it might have been
Hmm.
three when her and him were laying in the bed. I think she did. So she's like, we were together for 10 years. I feel like she
No,
said
I
10
think they
years
were
too.
together 5 years. I think she said
Okay,
five,
okay.
and they were living together for 4. But still,
Oh,
that's a
okay,
long
okay.
time
Yeah, that's a
for
long
somebody to
time
just cheat on
still.
you like that.
That's a long time.
And so we can stick with their stuff and then we'll jump back to Khalil. So then Mavis is basically pissed that Jock is there. And he
Mhm.
confirms pretty much that he took the job because he missed her. So he's clearly been keeping tabs on her. Like because how else would
Yep.
like he knows she's styling Natasha. He knew this was a Natasha
Yep.
event. So he's like, oh, I'm going to try to get this job. Because she like, you wouldn't dare. You don't shoot for People magazine. Like it almost sounds like he
Yep.
feels like People magazine is probably beneath him, but he took the job just so
Yep.
he could see her. So what were you thinking about that? And because they like fighting in the closet, you got Natasha and Avery outside, like overhearing everything.
Yeah, I feel like we almost saw him be more vulnerable than we did in 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like he has some very deep remorse, like
Mm-hmm.
more than what we saw in 1 and 2 for what he did. What do you think? Do you
Mm-hmm.
think you feel like he was kind of more remorseful to me in these 2 episodes? It just was
Yeah,
more,
I think so for sure. It seemed like he actually started like working through everything and actually understanding where he went wrong. You know what I mean?
yes, yes, yeah. That's what I feel like.
Versus
I
like
feel
the
like,
first like 1 and 2, he tried to just say, "Oh, we can work this out. Oh, we supposed to have
yeah,
kids. We're
like sweep
supposed
it
to
under
get
the
married." But he
rug.
never like, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
So
agree.
yeah, it was interesting to see him like a little more vulnerable, but I don't know. Like
Mhm.
I still don't know what his whole deal is. So I don't
Me
know.
either. Well, like I've seen ahead, but at this point, I didn't really know what his whole deal was either. And so,
Yeah.
and then we kind of stay on that. So, like, they're taking some of the, I guess, pre-wedding photos, and Jock is basically talking to Mavis, and he's saying that he's been doing some soul searching, and he's going to therapy, and he says he know where things began to fall apart, and he knows he's the one that sabotaged their relationship. And Mavis is just not really trying to hear it. She's like, "You
Not
just making
really
this
trying
about you
to hear
again."
it.
And then
Yep.
we get to the actual ceremony, and Mavis, she just sobbing the whole. She looking at
Hmm.
Jock, she just crying. I'm so embarrassed for her. I feel so bad for her because this man don't
Yep.
put her through this. Like, what were you
Yep.
thinking?
Yeah, me too. I felt bad for her. It was kind of funny too though, because how they were looking. Oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh. How they were looking at her. I was
You
like, what?
good?
The two ladies was looking like, now look, you know,
Yeah. Like, you not finna mess up our baby's wedding.
no.
So yeah, that was rough. So then we can kind of jump to Khalil's little storyline, and then we can touch on Marley, and then we'll get back to Mavis and Jock at the end. So Khalil, he planned this cute little date for India. It's the last day of class, so he's like, I'm gonna do like a little picnic in the art studio thing. It was real cute. Like, what do you think about the date? Like, would you like the date?
Yeah, it was cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
cute.
thought it was cute. She looked a little confused by the date, like, but I don't know. I thought the
Yeah.
date was really cute. So
Yeah, I
then,
thought so too.
I feel like they had like really like fun banter and stuff. So he's walking her home from the date, and then when they get to her home, she invites him up, and he's like, "Dawg, I'm not gonna come up this time." And he like kisses her on the forehead or whatever, and she's looking like, "Okay," and he's like, "All right." I'll see you around, and then she just looking like, okay. So I think that kind of threw her off because their whole relationship at this point has been sex outside of class. It's just been sex. So now it's like he don't
Exactly.
want to have sex, and then he just gave me a forehead kiss and walked off. Like, and it's the last
Yep.
day of class. So she was thrown off by that. So then Khalil talks to Mavis about India, and Mavis basically lets him know that he should have like verbally like you got to be specific, like tell her that you like her. He
Exactly.
was like, "Well, I
That you
did
like them.
this date. I did all this stuff. Like that was me showing her that I like her." She's like, "No." To her, that was you trying to let her down easy, break it off. Like you need to tell her that you like her. What do you think
Hmm.
about that? Did you think like that was good advice, or would you have taken that as him trying to break things off with you? I don't know. I don't know if I would have
No,
necessarily
I
took it.
feel like Mavis gave him good advice.
Hmm.
Like I feel like because you almost can sense from India, like her vibe is probably different than a lot of the other women he's been with.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think Mavis gave him good advice because if not, I think she just would have moved on.
Yeah. No, I
You know,
agree. I agree.
yeah,
So then after that, we see that oh, and then we can kind of touch on Jock and Mavis for just a quick second because in that conversation, Mavis basically says that Jock felt like where they messed up with their communication, he wanted Mavis to talk to him like they're best friends, just like he talks to like Khalil and just like she talks to Khalil and Marley. Um, what did you think about that? I don't know, cause like obviously I'm married, and my husband now is kind of like my best friend. Now he don't be wanting to like be in the little like women drama stuff, but he'll at least sit and listen to it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, I can kind of see where he's coming from. Like you want as your partner, you want them to be like your best friend. You want to talk to them about anything. But did you think that's fair to like use that as the reason why he cheated on her? I don't know.
Nah, I mean,
Like I don't really
I
get
don't
that
feel like it
reasoning.
because here's why I don't feel like it. The girl was one of the
Hmm.
models that was on the shoot. Number one, it just their relationship. I mean, we only seen the snippet of them being caught in bed, but I don't think it. I don't think it was no friendship. Yeah,
Right,
I think they were just
exactly.
hooking up.
Yeah, but Mike,
Like,
it was like if that was really the thing, then he would have emotionally cheated first.
been yep, yep,
Like, so it
emotionally
just
been
didn't add up
connected.
to me.
Yeah,
That's why I'm
yeah, it
like,
didn't
he
add up
just
to me
making
either.
stuff up now. Like I don't trust him. I don't trust him. Cause I just
Yeah,
think I understand that, but he's like, that's where our communication fell apart. So then, like, that equals you getting in bed with somebody else. It didn't
exactly.
add up to me. So, anyways,
Yeah,
Khalil shows up at India's place, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And then he finally like tells her that he likes her. So I thought it was cute that he finally told her.
yeah, it was cute.
And
It
then,
was.
but then her son Cooper done popped his head out the gate, and he looking like, I didn't know you had a son. And I thought it was just fit all go left from there, because you know how like, especially on these shows and stuff, a lot of times they act like men won't date women with children or whatever.
Yeah,
But he seemed really open to it. He was like, he seemed cool. Like he was fine with her having a
yeah,
kid. What did you
yeah. I
think?
don't think he had an issue with it at all. But I was kind of shocked though, because I thought he might. I thought the kid might give him like, even more
Hmm.
fear than he probably might have been already feeling about trying to pursue somebody exclusively. Like I was
Right.
like, oh shoot, the kid might make him back off, but
Hmm.
no.
Yeah, I
So
wonder if like we probably just can't get too deep into like in terms of character development with that, because the episodes are so short and it's only 8 episodes, so they probably just had to go with it.
yeah, I
You know what I
think
mean? Because
so
I
for
feel
sure.
like in the real world that would have like a man that's a f boy all this time, and this
Yeah.
the first time he like that would have kind of like made him a little like at least
Hmm.
second guess it for a second, you
Yeah.
know. But
Yeah.
I guess. So then we can go ahead and touch on Marley's storyline, because I did not see this coming.
Me
Um,
either.
so Marley is messing with the trainer. So we already found that out earlier. So she's working out with the trainer, and then kind of find out the trainer's engaged, and
Yes.
he was, I guess, that they're supposed to be in an open relationship. So the his fiance works at the gym and knows about Marley. Apparently the
Yeah.
fiance wants to meet Marley a little bit more than meet Marley. Like
Yes.
she wants it
Way
to be
more than
like
Meet
a
Marley.
poly situation altogether.
Yes.
So Mark, because at first Mark's like, what? And then once he realized, oh, the fiance like wants her, she was down for the cause then.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so they're like all in the locker room making out and stuff. More so Marley and the fiance, and then the man is just like in the back or whatever. And so then he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I got another session. I gotta go." And so then I'm thinking, "Oh, okay. Well, they ain't finna, do nothing." Then next thing you know,
Yeah.
Marley and the fiance getting it on in the locker room, and the
Yeah.
fiance
I
about
was
to eat the
kind of
cootie cat.
shocked. Yeah. I was shocked because I didn't think Marley would be down for that. You
Me
know what I'm saying?
neither.
Like without the dude and stuff. So like her
Right.
character, I feel like she probably done went through divorce. You know, sometimes when people go through divorce, they just want to have their moment back, especially
Right.
depending on when they got married. If she got married
Hmm.
super young, maybe now she trying to live out all the stuff she wanted to do when she was younger.
Yeah.
are just feeling more liberated. But yeah, I was definitely not expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't either. It threw me off. Like I thought, okay, that's it. But I could tell Marley was like down for it because like she kind of hung around the locker room, was like, "Oh, your tattoo or what's that?" So you know what I
Yeah,
mean, trying to make a little
yeah,
small talk. So
yeah,
then
yeah,
I was like, oh, I did not see this going that way. So
yeah,
then we later see Marley had an appointment with her therapist, and she's talked to her therapist. She's like, "Oh, and I had a threesome," and I'm sitting there thinking, like, was it really a threesome? Because to me, that wasn't a threesome,
no, it
unless
was
he
not.
came back and they were
That's what
still
I was
doing
thinking too. I
stuff.
was like, well, maybe the dude came back.
Yeah, I was like, that wasn't a threesome to me. But then she said a man wasn't involved in it this time, so I'm like, well,
Yeah,
that's not a threesome, Marley. Or maybe she's in
yeah,
denial of her queerness,
yeah.
and
I
that's
think she's
kind
in
of what
denial.
the therapist
Yeah,
was saying. What do you think?
yeah, yeah. Her therapist definitely was like kind of calling it out, like telling her to dig deeper, because I
Hmm.
think she in denial about it for sure.
Yeah, because I was just like, why is she calling this a threesome? It was just them two.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
own it, Marley. So
Yep,
then
exactly.
at the very now we're at the very end of episode 4. We have Mavis. She goes to see Jock at the old apartment. He doesn't know she's coming.
Yep,
And he's wearing her shirt, got those little sad songs playing. She's like, "Are you do you have my shirt on?" And he just
yep,
like so he act I do think he really does miss her because he didn't know she was gonna show up. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I think he know
yeah,
he messed up and probably seeing her in her element, doing her thing, and then her crying because like a lot of guys too, like I think they'll do bad stuff, but it don't really hit them till they see you crying, like they how
yep,
bad they actually hurt you, you
yep,
know. And so I
yep,
think him seeing her sobbing at the wedding and stuff probably really got to her and stuff. And so he's like watching her favorite movie, Love and Basketball, and he's talking about I put back the
yep,
knives where you liked them and all this other stuff. And so Mavis basically says, you're right about the communication. Like I could have did better with communicating with you, but regardless, she knows she didn't deserve the betrayal from him.
yeah.
So what did you think about that? Like, do you feel like she should have like validated that communication thing with him? I don't know. I feel like cheating, you don't get no validation from me. That's just how I feel.
I
Even if
feel
you were
like
right.
I think maybe it was part of her closure,
Hmm.
really. Just,
I
I don't
guess.
know, like having some type of, way to kind of validate their feelings a little bit or
Yeah.
something. I think it was more of a closure thing. Because I mean, we kind
I
of see, I don't think
guess.
they like slept together. And then even though her
Mm-mm.
makeup was a little smeared on the train
Yeah.
in the next scene, but I don't think anything went on. So I
Yeah.
think he kind of really just got her like searching
Hmm.
for the why. Why did it go down the way it did? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And so they end up like kissing and stuff, and he's saying he wants her back. Like he know they can do better this time. He knows that it can be right this time. And basically, like you said, she basically just says like she just wanted closure. That's really what she
Yeah.
came over for. And then she's like, and I did want one other thing. He's like, anything, whatever you want. And she wants the toilet. She wants the
Yes.
toilet back.
Yes.
So then she gets on the train with this dang toilet. She wheeling it to her apartment. And as she's coming up to her apartment, Luca is waiting on her. So what did you think when you saw Luca there? Like, I don't know. I was not expecting Luca to come back this fast in the season. I thought
Yeah,
he was
me
gonna be
either.
gone to
I
Italy
wasn't
for a
expecting
while.
it. Yeah, I wasn't expecting him to be back at all.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah.
a surprise for me. And he said he's in town for a few weeks and he wanted to surprise her. And I felt like that was sweet. Like I feel like he must really like her because like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, he's from out of
Yeah.
town, he don't know for sure what this is gonna be, but he's willing to like keep
Hmm.
coming back and
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah, I feel like he must really like her a lot.
Yeah,
That's a
so that
long airplane ride.
exactly. And it's like he didn't have to come to New York. Like he could have went anywhere, but he clearly came there to spend some time with her, which is crazy when they've only like hung out one night.
Hmm. Yeah,
But
it's
yeah.
crazy.
But yeah, so that's where we leave off on episode 4. So I know you. I seen the whole season. You already like seen part of episode 5, right?
Yeah, I've seen part of 5.
Okay. Okay, so we won't do any predictions yet, unless you have some that like don't have to do with what you've already seen in 5.
Nah, I'm still trying to get done. My goal is to get done tonight. As soon
Okay.
as I get off of here, I'm just gonna go on and knock it out. So that way, if we want to film it later tonight, or if we just gonna wait,
Mhm.
because I'm like, I need to see what else would happen now. So
Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave this off on this. We're probably gonna film multiple like podcasts today for this show and Sweet Magnolias, but we won't post them all at once. So you guys on YouTube, y'all might see the same outfits. We just filmed them in the same day, that's all, but we ain't gonna post it all
yep,
at the same time. You know, we gotta space out the content a little bit. But
yep,
my name is Candace. Again, you can find me on Instagram at simply Candace. And Monica, do you want to give your
yeah.
handles?
Just find me on Instagram at Monica Rose Lifestyle.
All right, and thank you guys for listening or watching us if you're watching on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See y'all. Bye.